Okay, we'll start the webinar now. So welcome everyone. Thanks for being with us for this NVivo 14 Better Together for Real-Time Insights webinar. We're excited to show you NVivo 14. So with that, we'll do introductions first. So my name's Stacy Penna. I'm the Customer Engagement and Enablement Director here at Lumivero. I've been with Lumivero and before that QSR for 10 years. And I used NVivo for my own dissertation a few years back. And with me is my colleague Fiona. So I'll let Fiona introduce herself.
Thanks so much, Stacey. Hi, everybody. So my name is Fiona Wiltshire. I've been working with NVivo for just over 20 years now. I was working with QSR as it was now Lumivero for 10 years, setting up the training area, and now I do the training on my own, and I also manage the training and the certification area for Lumivero. So welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Fiona. So first, Lumivero, this is a new company. We combined 3 other companies to make Lumivero. And the company's goal is really to help the researcher with their research. And so with that, we have a data landscape. So the idea is to help you to aggregate and collect your data, organize your data, analyze it, report and present it, and then help track and measure your findings. And so with the 3 companies coming together, we now have these products. So NVivo, obviously, Citavi is our reference management and writing tool that we'll be showing you today. Excel Stat is statistical software, is similar to SPSS, but a little bit easier to use. Sonia is our student placement software. At Risk is risk management software, and Decision Tools is a suite of products and which At Risk is part of. And both of those are statistical. So what went into creating NVivo 14? So our product team met with a lot of customers, interviewed them, did surveys to find out, what were the needs of our customers. And one thing they found, which won't be surprising, I think, to most of you, is that collaboration and real-time collaboration is really needed with qualitative research. They also, found that having connection between Mac and PC where everyone can work on the same project was key, and then getting more insights. So that's why we brought in Citavi, which is going to help you be able to analyze your secondary resources more. So those were the 3 key things that they took away, and that's what we built into NVivo 14. So here are the key features. So real-time collaboration. So with this, you need NVivo 14 and NVivo Collaboration Cloud to be able to work in the same project at the same time. Also easily to connect with Mac and Windows. So same, you need NVivo 14 and Collaboration Cloud so that you can work on the same project no matter what your operating system. Citavi Insights. So we have great Citavi integration with NVivo, and we'll show you what that looks like so that you have your empirical data right next to your literature. And then a simplified Lumivero account management. So if you have multiple products with us, so NVivo Transcription, NVivo Collaboration Cloud, and Citavi, you can log in with your one single sign-on. You don't have to have different sign-ons for different products anymore. So as you, many of you are probably used to when you share an NVivo project, whether you're using Dropbox or SharePoint or Google Drive or old Collaboration Cloud, there was quite a process to do that. So team member 1 would create a project, upload it to the cloud, email team member 2 that it's coming. Team member 2 would download it. Once they are working on the project, they need to share it back with team member 1. They would upload it to the cloud. Team member 1 would download it. And then at some point, they'd had to merge the projects to see what people did for coding. And then you'd do that whole process again. So with new Collaboration Cloud, we have real-time collaboration. So the process is very simple. Team member 1 uploads the project. Team member 2 goes in and can go into the cloud project and start working on it. And you'll see with our demonstration that you're actually working real-time coding together in the same project. So very exciting because it's simultaneous collaboration, and it's also doesn't matter which operating system you have, Mac or Windows. And because it's in the cloud, we just want to make sure you know it is secure. So the cloud projects are hosted on Microsoft's Azure. The server locations are in the US, Canada, Europe, and Singapore. And we are GDPR and HIPAA compliant too. And then with Citavi Insights, we'll be showing you how using Citavi can help you bring in that secondary data or references, so your lit review. So by having all that information easily accessible in NVivo, you can create visuals, you can compare and contrast articles, you can find patterns in the literature, and it really can kickstart your writing process to publish faster too. So research powered by NVivo 14. So now we'll go into NVivo 14. And so I will start. So I've already created a project and I imported 2 interviews. I set up some codes. And now I want to share this with Fiona. So I'm going to go to share. And the first thing I do is upload project. And you can see it's uploading here. It typically waits a little at 19% and then it continues. There it goes. And so now it's 100% complete. And I just click to close. And now the upload project is grayed out and I can go to manage team. So now if I want to add users here, I can add Fiona because I already added her to my NVivo Collaboration Cloud subscription. I'll add her. Now, if I hadn't added Fiona or other team members to this project, I could go to my subscription, which will take me right to my NVivo portal and to my account, and then I can easily assign people from here. So I can go and add their name and their email, and then they get notified that they're part of this project. And I just want to close that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing and Fiona will share.
So I'm working with NVivo for Mac today, just to show you how it works across Windows and Mac as well, because Stacey was working in Windows. So I've got NVivo Mac open. Now Stacey shared the project with me. If I go up to the File menu and go to Cloud Projects. Okay, so it's coming up with the shared projects that Stacey shared with me. So if I come in now and look at which one have we got now? This one here. I was thinking. And now when I'm doing this, I need to make sure I give it exactly the same title as Stacey gave it, so it links in and syncs in together. And I'm just going to take that one out and copy that and paste that into here as well. And then so you can see it's downloading it from the cloud, it's creating a copy, cloning it, putting it on my computer. So if I needed to, I could work offline, but it's ideal if you're staying online because everything just syncs in real time. So I'll be able to, so Stacey will be able to see the work that I've done and I'm doing, and I'll be able to see whatever she does when she's working, when we both got the project open at the same time. So now it's complete, 100% completed. If I close that down.
And while it's coming up, so if you're in Mac or Windows, it's going to share the project to your local computer, because if you're working offline, you'll then be able to work in the project. And then when you connect to the internet and open the project up the next time, it will sync.
Cool. Okay, so here's the project that Stacey created and uploaded. If I now go in here and I can upload, import a file, I'm going to go and import, let's bring in the PDF this time, import that in. And you'll see, as it does when it's recording different users, it's using different initials for us both. I'm just going to change the workspace because I want you to see how the initials work. Because next to the initials here, you can see I've imported the PDF, Stacey imported the 2 interviews. And if now I want to go and do some coding, so let me open up the Barbara interview here and come into codes. And I'll see the 2 codes that Stacey created. And if I just create a new one, oops. Just the same as we've always created codes here. I'll give it a color.
And while Fiona's doing that, I'm coding on my side too in my project or in the shared
and
project.
the little circles coming, it's syncing between us because it's recognizing there's some other work happening. So now I can do some coding. So if I just come down, it's thinking.
But you can see that I've already modified the codes by coding in the shared project in my on my computer or in the cloud actually, but Windows.
Okay, so if I just come down here and I grab some data and I say, okay, let me code that. Same as you would do normally, just add that to environment and to change, click select. And you'll see as it's done there, so suddenly it's gone up to 3 references. So Stacey's been coding, I've just done some coding, and you'll see next to that, like Stacey created it, and I just modified it. So in real time, it's updating, recognizing what we're each doing on the project at the same time. It makes life so much easier. And in just a moment, if Stacey's just created a new code, you'll see it appear on my screen as it syncs up. So every so often, so you'll see this little circle, and now you've got community. So you can see that new code has just been created. Stacey's just added that. You can see by her initials that she did that. So it doesn't matter if everyone's working on Windows, people are working on some Windows and some Mac. It still works in exactly the same way. And as you saw, Stacey set me up onto the project and she set me up as a collaborator. So there's 2 different roles you can have working on the collaboration cloud in NVivo 14. I'm going to hand back over to Stacey just to talk a little bit about the different permissions you have in the different roles. So I'm going to stop sharing now.
So as Fiona mentioned, there's 2 roles in Collaboration Cloud. So one is the project owner. So I'm the project owner in this case. I uploaded the project. I assign Fiona to be a collaborator, or I can remove people if I need to. I can edit documents. I can create, delete, and merge codes. So anything that needs to be changed, I can do. And we put that in just to make sure not anyone can just go in and delete a code or change a document. And then collaborators, which Fiona is a collaborator, she can clone projects like she showed. She can import files, like you saw her with the PDF. She can create a new code. We saw that. And she can code to new or existing codes. And we didn't show this, but you can create new memos and add memos. And obviously also the project owner can do that also. And I did upload the PowerPoint slides as a PDF, so people should have access, but I can do it again if you did not receive it. And then I also just want to show in the Windows version, if I need to clone a project, I just go to Cloud Projects here, and they get listed. And I'm not going to do this because I'm already in it, but I'd click and clone, and I'd follow the same process that Fiona did. So I'll go back here and you can see my project's been synced. So I can see the codes that Fiona modified, the one she created. And then what's I think really exciting is we can see the coding stripes right away. So first I'll just bring up all coding stripes. And so I can see I created that one, and then I'll see the ones Fiona created here. Oops. Right there by her initials. I created these codes. And then I can also see it by user. So let me show that. So if I just pick both of us. And so now I can see all the codes that Fiona coded, or where she coded in the document, and then where I coded in the document. So again, very quickly, you can compare coding amongst team members. And then of course, you can always go up and do a coding comparison query for your inter-rater reliability, and check that out. So, big improvement from what we had to do before when we had to merge projects to really see this. Now it's like we said, in real time. So, so just take some questions, if you want to help me with this part of the demo, because then we're going to show you how Citavi is integrated.
Sure.
Let me see. So one question was, if Fiona's in Melbourne, Australia, how is that data shared or stored local to meet local compliance? So it is always stored on, when you say local, so the server we're using is in Singapore. So I don't know, that seemed to be okay when people are working in Australia, as far, that's my understanding. And then, oops.
And there's a question about the difference between Collaboration Cloud and Collaboration Server.
Okay, so I have a slide for that at the end that will probably make it a little bit clearer, but Collaboration Cloud, it's a cloud-based project, versus Collaboration Server is a dedicated server at your organization. So that's if you need something on-prem to make sure, follows all your, if you have certain security measures that you have to follow. So that's the difference between the two. Also, a server, you only have it with Windows, I believe, where this you can be a team of Mac and Windows users.
And there's a question, Judy's just saying she's signed up for the trial of Collaboration Cloud, but it seemed to be the older version.
Oh, okay. If that's the case, you can. So if you have Collaboration Cloud, the older version, you should still be able to do the new collaboration that we just showed. The old Collaboration Cloud is under modules and right here. So you'd go here to get to the old Collaboration Cloud. They kept that on purpose because there are people who will have to transition over to the new Collaboration Cloud. So they wanted to make sure people had time to do that. So I guess, Judy, if that's the case and you can't get in, like I was showing here, so if you can't, well, you're probably the owner. So in that case, you would go to share and upload and manage. And if you don't, and you also need NVivo 14 though to do this. So make sure you have NVivo 14 too. But if you're having issues, just email me.
Cool. And there's a question about does every team member need NVivo 14 and Collaboration Cloud to access the feature?
Good question. Everyone will need NVivo 14, but NVivo Collaboration Cloud, if you buy one 12-month subscription, there's up to 5 people who can have access to it. So typically whoever purchases it tends to be the project, would be the project owner. So that person would be the team member who would be uploading and managing the team. But then you could have up to 4 people who can collaborate with you.
And there's last question is, are there any plans to have an Australian server?
Not that I know of right now, but we can ask.
Well, I think those seem to be the questions for the moment.
Okay. Great. Thank you. So now I'm going to switch gears and I'm going to bring up Citavi. So for some of you, this might be the first time you've seen Citavi. This is our reference management and writing tool. And I'll just give you a quick tour of Citavi. So there's three main tabs. Right now I'm in the reference tab. So it's showing me all the references that I've imported into Citavi. And you can see here, I have the list of references, I have the metadata about the reference, and then I actually also can see the PDF here. So to make that a little larger, and you have different screens, so you can change the view too, so it's easier to work in. So I can, highlight what I find of interest for my literature review, and I can pick this part of the text to be a direct quote, an indirect quote, a summary, or a comment. So let's say I give it a summary. You have the core statement here that I could shorten if I want. And then I would write my summary, is depending on what I want to write. And the real strength of Citavi, or one of them, is that I can start the outline of my paper, book, whatever I'm writing here. And then I'm able to add what I found in the articles to that outline. So I'm going to go and add it to changes here. Click OK. Now, with being, and then so you have that, then you have the knowledge item. So that's the outline. And you can see when I go to different sections, it's going to show me what I have under the outline here. So it's showing me exactly what I took from the articles. And then there's a task section that will help me keep track of what I need to do to finish my writing project or research project. Now, Citavi, this is a cloud-based product too, or project. So I can share this with team members too, and we can all work in Citavi in this project at the same time also. So now if I want to bring this into NVivo so I can do further analysis on my secondary resources, I just go share with NVivo, and you can see this pops up. So it's telling me it's sharing with NVivo. And then once it's done sharing, it says this project is ready to be accessed in NVivo. So I'll go back to NVivo. And here I'm going to go to import, and I have add from Citavi. And I'm going to pick the Citavi project I want to bring in. So it's this one. And I can choose what resources I want to bring in. I'm just going to choose all of them. And then I can also choose to bring in that outline. So the knowledge items that I have information from all the journal articles, and these will become codes. So just confirming with me, yes. And now we'll start bringing everything into NVivo. So it says it's 100% complete. I'm just waiting for one more menu to pop up to, yep, so it tells me it's successful, and I close. And so now if I open up files, you see I have references. So those are all the PDFs, and not all were PDFs, some were books. So PDFs come in, but also I can create my own document here too. I added an abstract and different things. And then it also at the same time brings all that metadata that was in Citavi. So what type of reference it is, the authors, and then the date of publication, all that. And then if I go to codes, I have a separate code for all the knowledge items. So what I think is great about this is that now when I do my own coding and analyze my own data, I also have my lit review right next to it. And that will help me when I go to write my findings. And what's nice, because I have the references now in NVivo, I can do more analysis. So I might want to pick all these articles, for example, and do a word frequency. So I can do more analysis here than I can in Citavi. So I get word frequency, I can do a word cloud, and so on. So let's name the word, and then I'll show one more way Citavi is integrated too, with once you've done some coding. So the word cloud, and as I think and you might do, I can go to change here, or maybe I'll go to research and run a text search. So again, this can help me going through the literature review. So I've tagged things in the articles on Citavi, but maybe I want to find some key words, and NVivo does that quite well. So I'll just save the results as a code. And it opens up, and then I go to codes, and you'll see research is listed now. So again, that's one of the strengths by being able to bring in your references into NVivo, you can do much more analysis. And then I want to show that when I export a code to a Word document. So let's see, I'll go and export code. So I have my Word document here, the coding I did, and you can see in the Word document, we have a Citavi Word add-in. I go to the Citavi pane. I pick the Citavi project I was working in. And so now what's great is as I'm doing my writing here, I can bring in those knowledge items here. There. Well, I just had summarized this, but it will bring in what you typed in Citavi, and then also it does the citation for you in the style. I'm in APA right now. Just go to another one. I could also ask software to bring in everything at once. So now it's going to start really building out my rough draft for me. So you can either do it, one at a time if you want to do that, or you can bring everything in at once. You can see add images. So quite quickly you have your first draft. And you can see it's doing the citations. And then it's also building that the bibliography for me. And I can always change. There's hundreds of citation styles in Citavi, so I can change it to another one if I want quickly. All right. So any other questions, Fiona?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
If anybody has any questions, if you just would like to post, we'd be happy to answer.
And while you're doing that, I'll just go back to the PowerPoint and finish up a few more slides. So we do have in the PDF, just so you know, we added screenshots of what we showed you, just in case you want to refer back to them at some point. So I won't go through all these. And then Citavi Insights. And then the add-on. So I just talked about the difference between NVivo Collaboration Cloud and NVivo Collaboration Server here. So you have this in your packet too. So NVivo Transcription, if you haven't tried it yet, I use it quite often. It's pretty accurate. You know, if you have two people talking on audio or video, it will transcribe it very accurately, like 90%. As you add more people, a little bit less accurate. But we have this on our website. Actually, if you go, you can fill in recording length, how many hours do you have, and then you can sort of see how NVivo Transcription can be saving you time and money there. 28 different languages it will transcribe. And so our goal with Lumivero Solutions is really to help you throughout your research process. So for your lit review, we have Citavi, which we showed you. iTracks is a partnership we have, and they have a way to collect data online that's very secure. So if you're doing focus groups or interviews or discussion boards, iTracks has a way to help you with that. NVivo Transcription, NVivo Desktop, to help you collaborate, NVivo Collaboration, Cloud or Server. And then we also have training to help you learn all the products. And that's what Fiona does, helps us with the training. And then here's some resources. So free resources, there's a link to a product tour. Our e-guide is our help menu. We do a lot of webinar and events. I'll show you the Lumivero community in a second to show you how to get to NVivo resources. And then, of course, we have our NVivo Academy, which Fiona manages and does a great job with all the courses and certifications. So these are very affordable. So check them out because they will help you, learn more and be able to start working with NVivo very quickly. So we have more of these webinar series. So I have trainers helping me do all these webinars. So just go to Lumivero and the events and you can register. They're all free. And then we have thought leadership webinars. So these are focused on researchers' research. So it's researchers presenting their work. We have a few more going through May. Again, these are free, so please don't hesitate to register for them. And then the Lumivero community. So I just wanted to, I'll show that to you in a minute, but just want to remind people that you can get a free 14-day trial for NVivo 14 and NVivo Collaboration Cloud, and Citavi, you actually get a 30-day trial. So I'll just go to the community.
Questions, Stacey, if you'd like to take questions.
Yeah, sorry, I'll show the community and then I'll take questions if you don't mind. So this is the community. You can go to discussions and trainers come in here and answer questions. John Eric here, he is our NVivo champion, and he is on top of answering questions. But the resources, if you go to NVivo resources, these are again all free. We set it up so it's aggregate, analyze, and present. And so if you want to learn, for example, on how to import into NVivo, we explain it, and then there's short videos and these come from the Academy courses. So you sort of get a sneak peek of what you can learn from the Academy courses too. So check that out. Okay, questions.
Okay, there's a question from Madeleine. Is there a readily accessible free video training of this functionality, which is kind of.
So we are going to make the recording of this available. By the end of the week, you should get an email from us with the recording of what we just showed you. And then I'm working to create a video for Collaboration Cloud and the Citavi integration. And that will most likely be in many places, but it'll also be part of our Academy courses too.
And if you're using institutional NVivo, would we be able to upgrade to NVivo 14?
Yes. So my understanding is if you have an institutional license of NVivo, what will happen, they're going to start next week. They just wanted to get everything organized first before they sent the institutional licenses out. So what will happen is you'll get notified when you open NVivo, or when you go to the portal. So you'll be able to, your admin at your organization will be able to go into my NVivo portal and see that there's a new way to a new product to assign people. So next Wednesday it's coming.
Okay, great. And there's a question from Ryad. I expected to use NVivo to analyze deeply articles and to transfer after what I want, files and codes to Citavi. Apparently this is not possible.
So right now you can bring information from Citavi into NVivo, but you can't go backwards right now. Now that might happen in the future. So I think you can still do what you want to do. Don't you think so, Fiona, from what she described or the person described?
I think what my understanding of the question is, you're looking for transfer encoding from NVivo back into Citavi. So at the moment, that you'd have to sort of take it out of NVivo as a code like Stacey did, and then add in the Citavi afterwards. So you can't actually do NVivo back to Citavi as yet. But my understanding is it's something that could be happening in the future. But at the moment, it's just from Citavi into NVivo.
Yeah, so what I would do is I would use Citavi, because you basically, when we say tagging, you're creating basically codes by putting them into this outline. Because then when you share this with NVivo, it creates codes for all this. So I think you can still do what you want. You're just going to use Citavi first to basically go through your references and put in the outline, and then this outline becomes a codes. So I think it will help you.
Cool. And there's just a comment from Judy to say that some of the automatic emails are still referencing the older version with links. And yeah, Judy, I mean, I had a conversation about this yesterday. We are very much aware of that, and we're in the process of updating all the automatic emails for the current version and to link to the new website, because the name change from QSR to Lumivero is a fairly recent change, so all of the links have changed. So thank you so much for the heads up on that. We'll be updating it in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's just a comment from Ryad about the option of auto coding is useful when lots of articles to analyze.
Yes. I agree. And that's just for people that might not know, if I go all and I go to auto code here, I can then pick to identify themes, and it will go through and help me find it's an algorithm with noun and noun phrases to help create those codes.
Right, and there is one more question from Judy. When can we expect the Mac version of NVivo to have the same functionality as the Windows version?
So they are aware of that as a big issue. So that's something the product team is working on. They worked really hard to get this collaboration piece fixed, because that seemed to be a bigger issue for people working on teams between Mac and Windows. Because if you have somebody with Windows and on your team, you basically have all the functionality within NVivo. So that person can do the auto codings and some other things that the Mac version can't do right now.
I think those are all the questions for the moment.
All right. Well, there's a short survey that comes up just to help us, get more information for you to see if this was helpful. So if you don't mind taking that, but otherwise, just want to say thank you, and thank you to Fiona for helping me.
My pleasure. Thank you for hosting.
So bye, everyone, and please don't hesitate to email us if you have further questions.